just to replace your MAF sensor. Here's the kicker. In most cases, your sensor isn't actually dead. It's just dirty and begging for proper cleaning. In this video, I'll show you 10 critical steps to clean your MAF sensor the Japanese way. You can do it completely at home for less than $10. And don't miss step 8. It's a technique even veteran mechanics rarely mention because it goes against everything parts stores tell you. Number 1. Wrong cleaner destroys sensors. Here's what most people do. They grab whatever spray can says electronics cleaner and assume they're good to go. Wrong. What nobody tells you is that many common cleaners contain oils and residues. Those residues coat the delicate hot wire element inside the MAF sensor. A Toyota mechanic in Osaka showed me sensor after sensor that failed within weeks, simply because someone used brake cleaner. The Japanese method demands one specific thing: CRC MAF sensor cleaner, or an equivalent product that leaves zero residue. It costs maybe $3 more than generic cleaner, but it can save you a $200 sensor replacement. But even with the right cleaner, most people make a crucial mistake in how they apply it. Number 2, spray angle matters most. Most people just blast cleaner randomly into the sensor housing. That's a mistake. The MAF sensor contains a wire element so thin it can be as delicate as a human hair. You must spray parallel to the wire, never directly at it. Think of it like cleaning a spider web without breaking it. One aggressive spray at a perpendicular angle can bend or snap that wire. When that happens, you're suddenly dealing with rough idle and poor fuel economy. Hold the can at roughly a 45-degree angle, spray gently, and let gravity do the work. Now you might think you've got the technique down, but there's a timing error that ruins everything. Number 3, drying time is critical. Most do-it-yourself guides tell you to wait 5 minutes before reinstalling your MAF sensor. Let me warn you, that is nowhere near enough time. The chemicals need at least 15 to 20 minutes to fully evaporate. I once reinstalled a sensor after just 7 minutes because I was in a rush. The car ran fine for 2 days, then threw a fault code. The Japanese method emphasizes patience. They wait 30 minutes minimum, sometimes leaving the sensor overnight in a clean, dry area. And here's something that will surprise you. Even perfect drying won't help if you skip this next step. Number 4, clean the intake tube. You can clean your MAF sensor perfectly and still have problems. Why? Because you didn't clean the intake tube where the sensor sits. A technician in Nagoya showed me a spotless MAF sensor, but the intake tube itself was coated in oil residue. Within a week, that contamination migrated right back onto the sensor. Before you even touch the MAF sensor, wipe down the entire intake tube using isopropyl alcohol and a lint-free cloth. This simple 3-minute step can double the time between cleanings. If you thought cleaning was just about the sensor itself, wait until you hear about this frequency mistake. Number 5, stop removing it too often. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 90% of car owners. Here's where Japanese philosophy truly differs. In America, we clean MAF sensors at the first sign of trouble. Japanese mechanics follow a prevention-based schedule, not a reaction-based one. Overhandling these delicate sensors introduces more problems than it solves. For most vehicles, the correct interval is every 30,000 miles, or only when symptoms clearly appear. Otherwise, leave it alone. But here's the real kicker. What you installed before you even bought the sensor might be causing all your problems. Number 6, air filter choice matters. Those oiled performance air filters that promise better airflow, they're often the main reason MF sensors get dirty. The oil gets pulled through the intake and coats the sensor wire. An engineer from Honda explained that factory paper filters are specifically designed to protect the MAF sensor. Yes, that aftermarket filter might give you 2 extra horsepower, but is that worth risking a $250 sensor? Japanese mechanics stick with OEM paper filters and replace them at recommended intervals. Now, this next one sounds minor, but it's destroyed more clean sensors than anything else I've seen. Number 7. Temperature affects results. Almost nobody talks about this, but ambient temperature dramatically affects cleaning results. Clean in a freezing garage, and the solvent won't evaporate properly. Clean in extreme heat, and it evaporates too quickly to dissolve contamination. The ideal range is 60 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Japanese workshops maintain climate control for this exact reason. If your garage is too cold, bring the sensor indoors, let it reach room temperature, clean it there, and allow it to dry completely. Number 8, never use compressed air. How many of us have thought, I'll just blow it clean with my air compressor? Trust me, resist that urge completely. Compressed air can generate static electricity that damages the sensor's electronics. Even worse, if there's any moisture in your airline, you've just introduced water into a sensitive electronic component. The Japanese method prohibits compressed air entirely. I learned this lesson the hard way and ended up with a dead sensor. The replacement cost $300. Number 9, check connector pins. If you think the sensor element is the only thing that matters, wait for this. The electrical connector pins are just as critical to proper operation. Corrosion, dirt, or even slightly bent pins can cause the same symptoms as a dirty sensor. Before reconnecting anything, spray electrical contact cleaner on the connector and let it dry. Inspect each pin carefully for corrosion or damage. I once spent 2 hours troubleshooting a rough idle, only to discover one pin was slightly bent and making intermittent contact. The sensor itself was perfectly clean. 5 seconds with needle nose pliers fixed everything. The worst part? Most people never even look at these pins. Number 10, know when not to clean. This may be the most important lesson of all. Sometimes the MAF sensor isn't the problem. A vacuum leak, a failing oxygen sensor, or even a dirty throttle body can create identical symptoms. The Japanese diagnostic approach is methodical. They check engine codes, review live data, and confirm the MAF sensor is actually at fault before touching it. I've watched backyard mechanics clean perfectly good sensors 3 times, trying to fix a problem that turned out to be a $50 vacuum hose. If your sensor looks relatively clean,